Why is the charging power different from the actual power stated on the label? Do you know why a 100-watt power bank only charges a MacBook at 65 watts? That does not automatically mean the power bank is fake. It usually means one of three things. Your laptop does not ask for 100 watts, your cable is capped around 60 watts, or multiple ports are sharing the power. Today I'm using the Anker 25K 165 watts to break down the three specs that actually matter for laptop users in 2026. Real PD wattage, real usable capacity, and airline-safe watt hours. One note before the numbers. My real test device is a 2020 13-inch MacBook Pro. This is a 61-watt class laptop, so seeing around 55 watts in a real charging test is normal. I'm not using this machine to prove a 100-watt ceiling. I'm using it to show real-world behavior on a common MacBook. And then we'll use the PD specs to explain where the 100-watt headroom matters for newer or hungrier laptops. How many watts do you want? I want 100 watts. I can give you 19 watts. Could you give me a little extra? He needs to charge his device and is in a huge rush. I can give you 19 watts. Okay. USB-C power delivery is not a charger pushing its maximum power into your laptop. It is a negotiation. The power bank announces what it can provide, the cable reports what it can safely carry, and the laptop asks for the level it can actually use. The number you see is the result of that conversation. So why do people often see 65 watts? There are two common reasons. First, if the USB-C cable is not a 5A/E marker cable, the negotiation can be capped around 60 watts. Second, when you charge more than one device, the power bank has to divide its total output. On this Anker, a 2 USB-C setup can give one side 100 watts and the other side up to 65 watts, depending on the ports and devices. The math is simple. Power equals voltage times current. A 100-watt PD output is 20 volts times 5 amps, but a 3-amp cable gives you roughly 60 watts at 20 volts. That is why the cable is not a tiny accessory in a laptop setup. It can decide whether a 100-watt power bank behaves like a 60-watt one. This is the part most buying guides skip. The question is not just whether a power bank says 100 watts. The question is how it splits power after you use more than one port. For one laptop, this Anker can provide up to 100 watts from USB-C. For two USB-C devices, it can reach up to 165 watts total. Once you add 3 or 4 devices, the output becomes a shared budget. This is also why the built-in cables matter. They are not just a convenience feature. They reduce a common failure point, using a random 60-watt cable and then blaming the power bank. If you want to test or use high wattage charging, use a cable that is rated for that wattage. In my real test, the 2020 MacBook Pro went from 9% to about 55% in 30 minutes, with the draw hovering around 55 watts. For a 61-watt class MacBook, that is exactly the result I expect. This does not mean the Anker is only a 55-watt power bank. It means the laptop is only asking for what it can safely use. For other laptops, read the 100-watt number as headroom. MacBook Air is easy. A 13-inch 61-watt class MacBook is also easy. A 96-watt class MacBook Pro is where the 100-watt USB-C output starts to matter. A 16-inch MacBook Pro or a gaming laptop may still charge, but under heavy load, 100 watts can be slower than the original high wattage adapter. So the honest verdict on PD wattage is this. This is a 100-watt capable USB-C power bank, but your real number depends on the laptop, the cable, and the number of devices connected. A 55-watt reading on a 2020 MacBook Pro is normal. A 65-watt reading usually points to a cable cap or power sharing. The second buying metric is real capacity. For laptops, milliamp hours alone is misleading. Convert it into watt hours first. 25,000 milliamp hours times 3.7 volts
divided by 1000 equals 92.5 watt-hours. That is the energy number you can compare across laptop batteries and airline rules. After conversion loss, the usable energy is lower. With an 80% estimate, 92.5 watt-hours becomes about 74 watt-hours. For a 52.6 watt-hour MacBook Air M3, that is roughly 1.4 full charges. For my 2020 MacBook Pro with a bigger 58 watt-hour class battery, it is closer to 1.2 to 1.3 charges. This is why the exact laptop model matters. The third metric is airline compliance. Security staff care about watt hours, not the big milliamp hour number. This power bank is 92.5 watt hours, under the common 100 watt hour lithium-ion limit. It is designed to be carry-on friendly, but remember, power banks go in your carry-on, not checked luggage. Now the product spec sheet finally makes sense. Anker 25K 165W, model A1695. 25,000 milliamp hours capacity, 92.5 watt hours, up to 165 watts total output, up to 100 watts from USB-C, USB-A up to 33 watts, and 2 built-in USB-C cables. These features are not separate talking points. They support the 3 buying standards we just covered. So the buying rule is simple. Do not buy a laptop power bank by the biggest number on the box. Check 3 things. Can your laptop, cable, and port arrangement actually negotiate the wattage, how much usable energy you will really get, and whether the watt-hour rating is flight safe. The Anker 25K 165W works because it answers all 3. Just don't mistake a 55 watt reading on a 2020 MacBook Pro for a failed 100 watt output test.